For the indigenous peoples of North America, life isn't a straight line that begins and ends. It's a circle, endless, breathing, alive. Everything that exists moves within this sacred circle. The birth of the sun, the death of a seed, the return of the wind. Life, death, and rebirth are not opposites. They are parts of the same motion, different beats of one cosmic heart. Spirituality is not a belief system separate from daily life. It's the air everyone breathes. The earth, the water, the fire, the wind, all of them are alive, all of them carry spirit. Nothing is just a thing. Every rock has memory, every tree has a story, every creature has a soul. Humans are not above nature, they are woven into it. Among the Lakota people, time is called the sacred hoop. It has no beginning and no end, only movement and return. When a person dies, they don't disappear, they step into another part of the circle. When a child is born, it's not a new soul entering the world, it's the same river finding a new path. To live in harmony means to recognize this rhythm, to understand that every breath belongs to the same cycle. The setting sun isn't a farewell, it's a promise that light will return. In this world, nothing is lost. Everything transforms, everything continues, and everything is connected. This is the way of the sacred circle. At the heart of indigenous wisdom lies one simple truth. Everything is born from the same breath, a vast, mysterious presence known as the Great Spirit. Different nations call it by different names. Wakantanka among the Lakota, Manitou among the Iroquois, Gitche Manitou among the Anishinaabe. But all of these names point to the same thing, the living force that connects everything that exists. The Great Spirit isn't a God sitting in the sky, judging from above. It's not distant, it's here. In the wind that moves through the grass, in the fire that warms the night, in the water that carries the reflection of the moon. It is the invisible heartbeat of the world. Everything that lives is a spark of that one endless fire. When a person is born, a small part of that spirit takes form. It breathes through the body, learns, feels, dreams. When the body dies, that spark returns to the great flame, merging once again with the source it came from. And from that same source, life begins again, in another form, at another time. So death isn't an ending, it's a turning, a return. Many tribes say the Great Spirit holds both the masculine and the feminine, Sky Father and Earth Mother, the two forces that keep the world in balance. Fire rises, water flows, and between them life happens. Every soul that returns carries both, the strength of fire and the gentleness of water. Some elders say that every human life is a small journey of the Great Spirit itself, an experience it takes to know its own reflection. When people live with honesty and humility, their souls shine brighter and return peacefully to that sacred mystery. When they lose balance, the Spirit doesn't punish. It teaches through experience, through time, through another life. In this way, the universe becomes a breathing cycle of learning and returning, a living dialogue between creation and creator. There is no final judgment, no final resting place, only movement, growth, and understanding. The soul leaves and returns like a wave. The Great Spirit inhales and exhales through all things. We are that breath, born, fading, and born again, forever part of the same endless wind. Every morning, as the sun rises over the red earth, the people greet it with three simple words. Mitakuye oyasing, all my relations. Three words that hold an entire philosophy of life. In the Western world, a person is often seen as an individual, a separate being, a single mind and body. But in the indigenous way, there is no such thing as separate. A human being is one thread in a vast living web of existence, connected to every creature, every tree, every rock, every gust of wind. Everything is alive, even what seems still. The mountain, the stone, the soil carries spirit. Every being, no matter how small or silent, has consciousness and purpose. And because everything is alive, everything is family, the deer is a brother, the river is a sister, the earth is our mother. All my relations is not a metaphor, it's a reality. From this understanding comes the belief in reincarnation. If all souls come from the same source, why should they not flow between forms? Why should a human not return as a wolf, a tree, a cloud, or a drop of rain? The boundaries between species are only illusions of the eye. Spirit flows freely, taking whatever shape it needs to continue the story of life. Among the Iroquois, it is said that the souls of animals and humans are made of the same essence. Before a hunt, a hunter offers a prayer, not out of fear, but out of respect. He knows that the creature before him may carry the soul of someone he once loved. He whispers, "Brother, if you choose to give your life, I will honor it with mine." The act of taking life becomes sacred, a moment of exchange within the great family of existence. All my relations is not just a blessing, it's a responsibility. If you harm the land, you harm yourself. If you poison the water, you poison your own future. And if you care for the world will care for you in return. When night falls and the fire glows in the circle, the shaman looks to the stars and reminds the people, we are not alone. We are the threads of one great web. Each breath we take vibrates through everything that is. This is the heart of indigenous wisdom, that there is no them, no us, no true distance between beings, only one sacred circle where every life touches another and every soul is a mirror of the same light. All my relations, a way of speaking, a way of living, a way of remembering that everything, truly everything, is one family. Voices of the tribes. If you travel far to the north, where the earth freezes and the ocean becomes a mirror, you'll find the Inuit. There, in a land of ice and silence, they believe that souls never die. They simply change form. A grandfather who has passed may return as a newborn child, sometimes as 2 or 3, sharing the same ancient spirit. They say every soul is like a flame passed from one candle to the next. The light continues even if the shape changes. Among the Inuit, a child often receives the name of a departed relative, not as remembrance but as invitation. The name calls the spirit home. When they look into the child's eyes, they see that same familiar spark, and they know the soul remembers. Far south, across the open plains where the wind never rests, the Lakota speak of time as the sacred hoop, a circle that never ends. Everything returns. A father may be born again as his grandson, a mother as her daughter. They say a soul can choose its next life, to finish something left undone, to mend a bond that broke, to continue a promise that time once interrupted. When a child is born, the shamans study the signs, the way the baby breathes, moves, looks, trying to recognize the spirit's old story behind the new face. In the forests of the Iroquois, the boundary between human and animal souls fades. To them, all life carries the same essence. Before a hunt, the hunter kneels and whispers to the deer, "Brother, if you choose to give your life, I will honor you with mine." For them, the hunt is not conquest, but conversation, a sacred exchange between relatives within the same great family. And in the Mandan villages by the river, they say every child chooses their mother before birth. From the world of spirits, the unborn soul looks down, searching for the family where it can learn what it still needs to learn. So when a baby arrives, the people know it came with purpose. It chose this life. Each tribe tells the story differently. The Inuit speak through ice and wind, the Lakota through the rhythm of the plains, the Iroquois through the voices of the forest, the Mandan through the flowing rivers. Different landscapes, different words, but the same heartbeat underneath. The soul never ends. It moves, learns, returns again and again in the great circle of life. Morality, community, and responsibility. Among the people of the plains, there's a saying, when a child is born, an ancestor returns. It's not just poetry, it's a reminder. What we do in this life shapes the home that our own soul may return to. In Indigenous belief, reincarnation isn't just about the soul's journey, it's also about ethics. If your spirit might one day walk again among your descendants, then the way you live, the choices you make, the world you leave behind, all of it becomes sacred duty. You don't live only for yourself, You live for the circle. The Great Spirit, called by many names, Wakan Tanka, Manitou, Gichi Manitou, is not a distant God who judges, but the living mystery inside everything. To harm another being is to wound the same spirit that gives you life. To honor another is to honor the great mystery within yourself. That's why the elders speak often of balance. They say, to walk in beauty is to walk in right relationship with all things. The code they live by isn't written in books. It's written in the wind, the water, and the quiet of the heart. Pray every day, not for yourself, but in gratitude. Be kind to those who have lost their way. Never take what isn't freely given, not from people, not from the earth. Speak truthfully, forgive easily, treat every creature as sacred, because one day your spirit may return as that creature. There is no heaven or hell, only the mirror of your own actions. If you live with greed, your spirit carries heaviness. If you live with love, your spirit travels light. Everything returns. Everything echoes. The Lakota tell of worlds that came before ours, worlds that were destroyed because the people forgot how to live in peace. They say we are now living in the fourth world, and if we forget again, the circle may break once more. So every choice matters. Every breath is a promise. When night falls, the elders remind the young ones, you will meet yourself again in another form. Make sure you leave yourself a world worth coming back to. And then the fire crackles, sparks rise into the dark sky, and the lesson lingers, that morality is not law but relationship, that the soul's journey is tied to how gently we walk on the earth, and how deeply we remember that all life is family. Preserving the knowledge and the faith. The elders say that wisdom doesn't live in books, it lives in breath. It moves from mouth to ear, from heart to heart, carried in stories, songs, and ceremonies. That's how the people remember who they are. Every night when the fire is lit and the stars hang above like silent witnesses, the storytellers begin. They don't read, they remember. They speak of how the world was born, of how the spirits shaped the rivers, of how souls travel from life to life. Each word is alive, each story a bridge between generations. When the children listen, they are not just learning history, they are keeping the universe in balance. Among the Plains tribes, the sun dance renews the connection between the people and the Great Spirit. Through song, fasting, and endurance, they remind the body what the spirit already knows. Life is a gift, and pain can be a prayer. In the sweat lodge, the womb of Mother Earth, they cleanse body and mind, emerging as if newly born, symbol of the soul's return. And when one seeks vision, they walk alone into the wild. No food, no water, only the open sky, waiting for a dream to show them their path. It is not a test of strength, it is a way of listening. At funerals, the people sing to the spirit that's leaving. They don't cry to hold it back, they sing to help it find its way. The smoke rises, the drums slow down, and for a moment, the living and the dead share the same breath. Through all this, the elders remain the keepers of the fire. They are the memory of the tribe, living libraries who carry what cannot be written. They know which stories can be told and which must be guarded. They decide when a name is to be passed on, and they teach the young that knowledge is not possession, it's relationship. The old woman by the fire, her hair white as ash, leans forward and whispers to a child, someday, when I'm gone, these stories will live in your mouth. Promise me you'll tell them. And the child nods, not knowing that in that moment they have already become the next guardian of the flame. Beyond death, death to the indigenous soul is not darkness, it's returning home. When the body falls silent, the spirit steps across an invisible river, guided by the songs of those who remain. There is no final judgment, no gates of heaven or hell, only the continuation of life in another rhythm. The Lakota say that beyond this world lies the spirit land, a place where pain no longer follows, where loved ones wait by the fire. The Hopi speak of an underworld, deep and calm, where the ancestors keep watch and whisper through dreams. Some spirits linger for a time, wandering between worlds until the prayers of the living help them move on, and some return, reborn, rebreathed, to walk the earth once more. In this way, life and death are not enemies, but partners, two halves of one breath that never stops. The same force that makes a child cry out for the first time is the one that carries an old man's spirit into the wind. Nothing is lost. Every song, every tear, every heartbeat becomes part of the great circle. When a person dies, the people gather. They light the sacred fire. They speak the person's name and offer tobacco to the flames. They say, "Walk in beauty, follow the smoke to the ancestors. We will meet again when the circle turns." And when morning comes, the fire is only embers, but the smoke has joined the sky. That's how they know the soul has crossed. The elders teach that to understand death is to understand life. We are not here to escape it. We are here to honor it, to live so fully that when our time comes, the earth will remember our footsteps with love. Because in truth, the soul never leaves. It just changes form, moves with the wind, rests in the soil, returns with the rain, and waits somewhere. In the eyes of a newborn child, the fire fades, the circle closes, and yet it begins again.